Hi all, I have a very, very interesting game to show you, especially if you're a House fan. I'm a total House fan at the moment. Been watching House episodes with my brother for the last few weeks in lockdown. I'd recommend it. It's really a series that has survived the test of time. So if you want some entertainment in the evening, check out the House series. In season 3, episode 23, chess fans will be absolutely delighted. Chess comes into this episode called The Jerk. I've got some notes here. Basically, I just want to make sure I tell you key things about it. So basically, House is played by Hugh Laurie, and British people might know in particular that Hugh Laurie is a good friend with Stephen Fry. They used to be a comedy duo. And in fact, Stephen Fry, you might not know this, but he's a major chess enthusiast. He's even done documentaries of some of the chess Olympiads in the past. And, he's even, tweeted quite a bit about chess sometimes. So anyway, the backdrop of the House series, to me, even though it's described by Wiki as a medical drama, for me, it's more based on Sherlock Holmes. It's more of a detective theme to it. I consider it personally in the same genre as Monk, Columbo, and other brilliant detective mysteries. For me, in these detective mysteries, there's a kind of metaphor of tactical prowess, because the thing I love about tactics, sometimes you need to have a real attention to detail of the position to pick up things other people can't see. And these detectives, they have that for picking up details or inconsistencies or slight nuances which other people can't see, and they can use that as a basis for deducing things, the key implications which other people can't deduce. So this attention to detail, I think, is very, very interesting. It's like the high resolution tactical clues I like to try and see on the chessboard. Sometimes I can, occasionally. So anyway, there's evidence it is based on Sherlock Holmes because House lives at 221B Baker Street, which is a heads up for the classic Sherlock Holmes. And also Monk, in one of the episodes, he confesses in one episode of Monk that he loved reading Sherlock Holmes as a kid. So they all kind of sometimes give a heads up to the classic Sherlock Holmes. And, okay, so this game in House, it arises because House is trying to test one of the symptoms of this chess prodigy called Naif. Now, Naif might be modelled on Bobby Fischer. He doesn't seem to have that much respect for his mum. His mum's not really enamoured by his behaviour most of the time. And in fact, is hoping they can cure his underlying behaviour as well. He's a bit of a nasty character. In one of the first scenes, he's basically shown clubbing his opponent with a chess clock, and that was after he won. So imagine if he had lost. So no, but there's clearly something wrong with that. That's not how one should win with grace, lose with dignity, exactly. So in this game, House decides to take a chess clock and a beautiful Staunton board to the bed of Nate and challenges him for a game. It kicks off with F4. So basically, House is trying to actually prove the Kelly-Sieg-Miller diagnosis, and he says to his associates, I'm going to stress the kid until he bites off a finger. So that's what he declares to his fellow doctors that are under him. So the game is played on the this beautiful Staunton piece set, and he sets a nice light next to the bed. So and he also indicates small testicles are a sign of a big chicken to tease before the match. He offers which colour for Nate, like this, but Nate's actually, there's a clue here actually. Nate doesn't actually open his hands up to and tap which hand actually. There's a slight clue there about something which is revealed later. Nate just says he'll have the white pieces. He just says he declares age before cripple, I am white. So he takes the white pieces like that. That's a bit of a rude way of taking the white pieces. So House sets the clock actually for 5 minutes. So it's a 5-minute chess game. There's actually a chess clock there in this scene. So this is a must-see episode if you're a chess fan. Must-see. So it's a 5-minute game. And so F4 from Nate. So Gregory House, playing with the black pieces, plays C5. Knight F3. And then at this point, actually, the bird's opening is F4, but at this point, after knight F3, House declares bird's opening, passive approach, sign of a coward. So already the teasing starts for Nate, who's with the white pieces. We see here D5, and after E3, in fact, Nate declares the Sicilian defense. It's not really technically a Sicilian defense, but sign of an idiot. The Sicilian defense, sign of an idiot, but it's not technically Sicilian defense. So they're both trying to wind each other up a bit. So after this E3, okay, and then the Doctor House says arrogance is to be earned. So the game continued knight F6. And we have actually B3. This is actually one of my favourite openings in bullet chess as well right now. I start usually with B3. I've had so many wins with this B3 system. So yeah, it's very, very nice logical dart square plan actually to me. But it's with a slight twist here. I mean, I even play it with F4 as well. It's with a slight twist actually. After E6, white actually plays the awkward looking bishop A3. That's very, very quirky looking. It's not in the spirit of things to me. I would rather put it on B2. We have bishop D6, bishop B5 check though. It's almost, actually this is a bit like Queen's Indian territory though, in reverse with bishop A6. Sometimes in Queen's Indians you see a bishop A6. So we see knight C6, knight C3, black castles, and now we see another weird looking move, rook B1. We see E5. So Dr. Gregory House opening up the centre with E5, F takes, knight takes, and now the bishop goes back. And now a very aggressive lunge with the knight, knight E4, knight takes D5, and now knight takes F3 check. Bishop takes F3, and bishop takes F3. Nate asks of Dr. Gregory House, why are you doing this? So he's actually curious, the why of this game. And we have Queen H4 check, and Dr. House does bluntly reply, to stress you out. G3, and he says, well, yeah, but why? And after bishop takes G3 check, Dr. House says, you're dying. That's not very nice. Well, roundabout here. HG, Queen takes G3 check, King E2, and now Dr. House, Gregory House plays knight G5, and there's a bit of concern initially, but it turns into a bit of a smile after Queen F1, sliding Queen to F1. So Nate, he starts smiling for a bit, and he declares, you can't win. Basically, he actually declares with this, you can't win. He's seen quite a few moves ahead here, and the variation he gives is knight takes F3. This didn't actually happen on the board. Knight takes F3, queen takes, but he indicates bishop G4, knight E7 check, king H8, and I wonder if you can guess white's move here if I give you 10 seconds to pause the video. So this is really well done with this key variation here, especially this move now. Can you see what white plays in this position to win this position? Okay, so Nate's talking about this variation. Rook takes, in effect, rook H1, bishop H5, and Nate gives actually queen takes. It turns out, and that's checkmate, the knight's covering the escape squares. Also, rook takes would do as well. So Nate gives this key crunching variation here, and with it, he says, save what's left of your dignity. Let's just go back here. So this is right here without even he announces that, which is not normally something you do. He kind of announces that. And that's after, actually, it's just after Queen F1. He announces all of that. You don't usually give the opponent a load of analysis like that. But he does say, lay down your king. And maybe he's overexcited or something. Anyway, he does actually go into a seizure at this point. And we don't see Nate seeing Dr. Gregory House. And he's actually tipping over the Black King, which is a sign of resignation. So later, we see him studying this position in his office, and he's looking at Queen d6 and Knight f4. We get a glimpse of Queen d6 and Knight f4, and he claims to Nath that he would have played Queen d6. He wouldn't have gone in for that, which is a bit naughty. So that's in the final twist. So who can be a supreme jerk competition at the end? And he says, not to be outdone though by these comments, says, okay, that's parrying the threat of 97. He says it kind of agrees about the assessment of being the exchange down, which is actually incorrect. White is just still a whole piece up here, absolutely winning. But Nate, for the sake of argument, actually just agrees that be the exchange down because he'd been bluffing, and that is why he won. So he doesn't even care that it was incorrect, the assessment. So anyway, so he tries to make the doctor feel bad. They actually found the issue. It was too much iron in his body. Actually, the issue was that, and it was shown because his hands he had an issue with his hand, which is why perhaps he didn't choose which colour at the start when he was offered the colours. So there's too much iron going around, and he needs to have ongoing treatment for that. But he wasn't exactly grateful, trying to get the last laugh here about that's why he won, and he was bluffing. Anyway, basically, Dr. House just said jerk at the end to Nath in return. So yeah, quite fascinating. Check out, if you're a chess fan especially, you've got to check out this episode. And the House series, generally, as well as Monk and Colombo, I think if you're into chess tactics and appreciating nuances, I think they're all great, actually. For me, they're a kind of metaphor for chess tactics right now. I find they are, anyway. Let me know what you think. So, a fascinating episode, and a great that they feature chess there. So I'm a really great fan of the show. Comments, questions, like, shares, subscribes with the notification bell, really appreciated. Okay, thanks very much.